and the tanks slowly leapfrogging forward. And this one maybe just extending a little too far. I want to see any bit of splash damage from his friend there. Zerglings surge forward. One tank immediately taken out. However, there are just going to be too many Marines to reinforce these tanks, and they're going to move right into here. There are just not going to be enough Zerglings to take this out right away. He needs to morph some Banelings. He needs to morph them quick, or he needs to attack very quickly with all of his forces at once. The 1-1 is about to finish. That's not going to be able to be stopped. The siege tanks do not get up quite in time. Marines need to be focusing down these queens. They're going to be some of the bigger damage dealers because they live so much longer. We do have the Zerglings did make the full 1-1, both upgrades completed. And now he's going to move right down into this third, stop any and all mining production from going in. This tank probably ought to stay sieged up, as the Zerglings very wisely intercepting all the reinforcements coming into here. He says, maybe I can't stop the attack that's going on right now, but I can stop that in a little bit. In the meantime, I need to stop reinforcements on this move command, on these rally points, running right by so many Marines, even a tank coming up. You just see on the menu map this whole stream of units. However, the supply difference looking at 95, now up to 100 to 70, not at all going to be favoring StrifeCro. That crucial tank was taken out, however. That siege tank going to be a huge, huge difference. One more comes here to replace it. And this is going to be the big push for Strelock. He sees his opponent not able to produce a whole ton at a time, having to reduce to removing reinforcements, not able to face head on, says, well then I need to go in here and I need to do some damage. With the Broodlings reinforcing, coming in, backed up against the minerals, the tank and the Marines do what damage they can before falling. The drones and the Zerglings barely surviving as the rest of Strelock's forces begin to regroup, recluster, and get ready for a counter, which is certainly coming right through. We do have 213 units killed by Strelock. The units lost tab. StrifeCro is so much farther behind, I should say. Infestors are on the way. A great gas dump, as we can see that StrifeCro's taking down these destructible debris. Very, very smart. Doing at least what he can. But he had that excess of gas because all he was producing were drones and Zerglings and queens, just pure minerals. Now he hasn't begun to get his third up again yet. He might be looking to now since he's saving up to about 300. Sure enough, drone coming down, that's going to make that hatchery. Looking around for the changeling that might be coming through, walking around. Oh, excuse me, I was getting ready to sneeze there for a second. I didn't want to just shout into the microphone. That would not have been good. Melee level 2 is coming up, and I'd love to see some Banelings coming in. Now, we did have the pathogen glands finished some time ago, of course, so that these infestors can come out. And I saw an interesting fact once. Earlier at BlizzCon, they had little StarCraft 2 facts in between games and whatnot. And one of the things was, how many seconds would it take for an infestor to gain the 25 energy that pathogen gland gives for free? And it was something like 44.4 seconds. And I thought, whoa, you save yourself 44 seconds of your infestors just sitting around with that upgrade? That's really good. So those plus 25 energy upgrades, a lot better than most people think. Of course, the Protoss know very well how great the Kaidaran Amulet used to be. Drop is coming around here for the side. It is going to get spotted by this Overlord, and actually this Overlord may be the first victim to fall to it. We are going to find out. No, this Overlord will live, but Strelock moving right in. Zerglings instantly responding, getting an excellent surround as half the Marines load up. Wounded, beaten, battered. You have 5 barracks and 2 factories straight producing occasional starports. And you notice the starport doesn't have an add-on. It's because Strelock really says, well, I'm not feeling like I need one. He doesn't feel the need to have a whole ton of medevacs, though I would argue you want to. I mean, great healing. middle of my drink there. This drop may have been spotted by StrifeCro with that one Zergling. I'm not sure. He has a cluster of Zerglings moving out. Maybe just looking to secure watchtowers. I'm not sure if he saw this though. It doesn't look like he did. We have lots and lots of Zerglings. 26 are on the way. And no, he doesn't see that. He's pulling groups down now. You can see the click of the mouse as the many Zerglings do come flying in. The medevac needs to be there to pick up its friends. Fungal's not going to go down for this medevac. It'd be better even to drop here and then stim and run in. But really, with so many Zerglings out in the field, a huge engagement coming here that I completely missed, not watching the minimap at all. Some Fungals do go down, but there are no Banelings to roll into this Marine Ball. The 4th by StrifeCro is not going to get canceled. It is going to get taken out with some siege tank fire, some artillery pushing that DPS. And look at the supply difference. When did this happen? Did I fall asleep for 30 seconds? 184 to 123. Melee level 3 is on the way for our Zerg. Grounded Carapace 2 with it, but really he's just almost straight producing Zerglings. He needs to get out some Banelings, which wouldn't even have the centrifugal hooks. It's almost like he just forgot he had them. The Infestors would play some great damage on these clusters of Marines, but they're spread back behind the tanks, ready to surge forward with the stem as soon as they need to. And these tanks just baiting in Marines, not even having mutas out. Mutas providing, and drops coming in. Well, not this one, but this one certainly did. You can see the Marines are stemmed down in health. And here comes the big push by Strelock. Huge Fungals going down on all those Marines. But is it going to be enough? The Fungals do kill plenty. But what is left after the masses and the battle of this medevac just trying to make its way back to its friends? We have 38 Zerglings on the field, but 0. We have 1 Infestor who has barely enough. He's going to have enough for 2 fungal growths. Going just straight into the Zergling production. 46 Zerglings out on the field. And as these siege tanks begin to leapfrog one another and allow for that staggered effect, that covering each other as they move forward, the Zerglings are going to run forward, but they're going to be met. Fungals do go down, but the Marines have a pretty good split. Even some infested Terrans dropping. But between the medevac healing, the tank artillery fire, and the Zerglings just not being so terribly effective, I'm not sure if StrifeCro is going to be able to hold this off. And even if he does hold it off, he's still 3 base to 3 base. Both players mined out at their mains almost completely. The Marines pushing forward, a drop even coming in here to help, and StrifeCro says GG. Strelock responds before he's able to leave the game and give game number 1 to Strelock. Fantastic pressure kept by Strelock, though the drops weren't effective. He did contain his opponent very well. And on a map like this, it's pretty easy to do because you just have to lock down this possible 4th and make sure that on occasion they don't sneak a 4th elsewhere out along the map. The big thing for me was that StrifeCro didn't get Banelings, which would have completely obliterated Marines before this tank count got too high. And he didn't get mutas to help handle the tanks. The Infestors were a good choice, especially to hold the Marines in place while, say, Banelings came in. But it just, Zergling Infestor on its own obviously is not enough. So this was game number 1 of a best of 3 series. We are going to be going into game number 2, and I'll see you